Hello guys, today we will be taking a look into one of the strategies used on Ghost Town, and we're going to be following Koreets in the UDES, the tier 8 Swedish tank introduced in patch 9.17. This tank has great camo value and the siege mechanics combined with 390 average damage and 330 pen with premium APCR shells make it ideal for this map. Here you can see because of the 70 km per hour driving speed, Koreets has no problem doing the climb. He could probably also do it backwards as UDES goes 50 in reverse. You can see how easily the UDES manages to do the climb and the overlook position he will get. Before we continue, let's break down the strategy used from there. So UDES from A1 is able to cover all of the number 1 base. There's a 113 in A4 to shoot down the houses on the cap and spot it, but can also spot towards C7. Then we have the FE215B, who can also shoot down the houses and cover the 113, but can also move backwards a little bit and spot the D-line, or if he wants to relocate back and support the tanks located in E3. The 113 here is meant to go hull down in A4 where he can support the FE215B, but is also able to shoot hull down onto the number 2 base if he chooses so. The 50B is just meant to support, but then we have the Kranwagen who can drive forward, shoot into the number 2 base, or can also spot the tanks in front of him if the enemy tanks decide to go there. Last but not least, we have the Batchat from Breakneck. He usually starts around J1 to spot that entire area, but because of the tactic coming out from Kaznakru, he has already pushed up. The Batchat has two options: to either push forwards and take the J9 area, or try and flank towards the 7 line behind the Kaznakru tanks. Let's get back to the action. We can see Koreets getting some shots towards the cap. There we go, a beautiful connection onto the side of the Emil. Again, before we continue, let's break down the process of the match. All the tanks from Ding have decided to push into the E5 position. The issue is Kaznakru has a heavier lineup, so should be able to hold this corner very effectively. Now let's take a look at both the Batchat and the UDES at the same time. Koreets constantly puts shots into the side of the Kaznakru's tanks, while Breakneck is flanking around and is shooting the E100s from behind. The HP lead Kazna had is gone, but Ding have lost the 113. Because of the E100s that Kaznakru has available to them, they should still be able to win this corner fight. All this time there are two tanks pretty much out of the fight, and Break in the Batchat is on reload, but could come from behind at any time. Koreets at this point in time keeps landing shot after shot onto the Kaznakru tanks. Even with all of this, Ding's tanks are falling one by one. Break in the Batchat has decided that he wants to clean up the cap first in combination with Koreets. The two of them should be able to provide a pretty nice crossfire. While Breakneck is cleaning up the tanks on the cap, Koreets gets spotted and he needs to run to a position where he can get safe. You can see here the position Koreets took is ideal for the UDES because of the siege mechanics and lifting the gun. He also manages to connect a nice shot onto the back of Haiba in the tier 9 Batchat. Now before we go on, let's take another look at how the battle has progressed. Kuritz in the UDES is able to support the AB line, but also 1-2 line. The 1-1-3 is no longer cooldown because of the E100 in C4. The 50B can support either corner tanks might come from. And last but not least, there is Breakneck on full HP, flanking from behind, and he could possibly be the ruin for Kaznakru. In theory, this should create a deadly area of crossfire. Sadly though, for Ding, it doesn't really work out that way and they will lose 2 tanks very quickly. You can see Breakneck gets a very important shot onto the side of the E100, but sadly isn't able to finish him. The E100 makes a mistake though, and drives into the fire of Kuritz, who does not miss the shot. Haiba trying to drive away, but because of the binos on Kuritz's tank, there is no escape for him. 2 versus 2 at this point. Because the cap has started, Kuritz is trying to relocate and possibly try to spot someone. Unfortunately, he can't spot anybody, so he doesn't get that much out of his tank position right now. You can see Break here spotting the cap, but because of some bad positioning, not having the gun depression to shoot onto the E100. In the meantime though, he takes 2 shots from the bad shot from Kaznakru, putting him on low HP. At this point in time, there is 42 seconds left on the cap, so Kuritz has to move to get a possible reset, but because of the UDAS and the quick speed, it shouldn't provide any issue whatsoever. With almost no time left to reset, both players from Ding decide to come towards the cap from different angles to maximize the chance of getting a good reset. As you can see here, both tanks get resetted from Kaznakru. Break manages to kill the bad shot from Kaznakru, but Kuritz actually goes down against the E100. This is the moment in time where Break makes a mistake. Because the E100 had fired, he should have possibly driven forward and try and do some damage on the E100 and make it an easier 1v1 for him. He could have driven forward and possibly even driven away afterwards, would make it a lot closer. After some driving around, the cap has gotten so high again that Break needs to reset. He peeks out, but just misses the shot, and the second one doesn't connect either onto the turret of the E100. Kaznakru's E100 turns his turret, gets the shot, wins the round. So due to some small mistakes here, Ding wasn't able to win the round. Even though Ding didn't manage to win the round, it was a great display about how the crossfire and the combination work of Break and Kuritz just being an artillery tank, can be super effective. I hope this video gave you some insight into the tactic used by Ding and how to possibly use it yourself in the future.